Coming up tonight on Game All Night, I'm joined by TC Petty III. This episode of Game All Night is brought to you by Game Toppers LLC. Upgrade your gaming experience.
Welcome to Game All Night.
Well, hello and welcome to another technically challenged Game All Night. So, yeah, we had a little bit of fun in the studio this evening getting ready for TC. I may have already started on my beverage. Dan, I think you already started crushing yours.
This is how I deal with technical difficulties. It involves a lot of beer.
I crawl around on the floor and you drink beer.
Yeah, that's my contribution to the cause.
This is messed up. This is totally messed up. That's not cool, but what are you drinking, sir?
Well, actually, while I top off, I actually had a question for you because I have been doing a bunch of digging online lately because I am getting deeper into solitaire gaming. And I don't think I've ever asked you before. Like, have you done any significant amount of solo gaming? Is it a thing that you care about in the least? Where do you stand on solo gaming?
Sure. You couldn't have asked when Travis Hill was on, you know, the low player count podcast. Would have been a very apropos. No, I don't solo game. And it boils down to I don't want to. It takes a lot of time to set them up and break them down and play them. But I have a business trip next week. I'm going to be up in Massachusetts all by my lonesome for 5-6 nights. So I might take a couple things up and try them out. What's your favorite one so far?
Lord of the Rings card game, probably.
Okay.
Probably atop the list, but I'm dabbling right now. I'm checking out a lot of different things before I take a dive.
All right. What are you drinking, sir?
So I just refilled myself with Victory Sour Monkey.
Okay.
I'm making a return to the bar cam here because
it is. It's a perennial favorite of yours. I went with a mojito since it's a little warm, and I picked some mint out of the garden, and I like dark rum in my mojitos. Why it's not clear, and I dig it.
It's the way to go. Summer beverage.
You know, we have a guest in the green room. I suppose we should check in. So, as you can see, I love this. This is probably the most extravagant picture I've ever had of anybody. But, you know, he's so photogenic. It's bound to happen, right? But, Mr. Petty III, are you drinking anything this evening?
Well, I am drinking some unaffiliated spring water here.
Oh, outstanding.
Straight from the tap.
There you go.
Just how I love it.
So you just kind of pour it back in and just kind of keep refilling the bottle so you feel better about yourself?
Yeah, you know, I'm saving money. And the environment, right?
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Just that, and well, I suppose I should have a metal straw instead of plastic if I really cared. But, you know, apparently...
Terrible.
I'm a horrible human being. My car only gets 24 miles to the gallon, and I use plastic straws occasionally. But
I've only met you a few times, and I got that impression.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big environmental fatty, I guess, is kind of the best way to put it. No, I totally care, and it's horrible, but metal straws just don't work, man. I can't do the metal straws.
Well, I've never tried, so you know what? Maybe they have one of those metal straws that's like also bendable, right? Maybe I should get one of those. Okay. I'll bring it to every restaurant with me, put it in my pocket, pull it out.
It could be a thing, right? Totally.
Yeah.
So but with a mojito, you kind of need a straw because, you know, I don't want to be sucking on mint leaves and chunks of lime and stuff like that. So
I guess that's true. I guess that's okay. So that's cool. I mean, kill the environment for just an alcoholic drink. That's fine.
Well, you know, we got to have our priorities, man. What can I say? So I have to, I like to go back and kind of talk with people about, you know, if I've met you in the real world, IRL and all that, like where we first met. And with you, you're probably the first board game celebrity that I actually ever met in person.
Thank you.
It was WBC when we played at the wonderful and glorious and luxurious Lancaster Host Hotel. That was, you know.
It's amazing.
All
the sights and smells.
Yeah. Lack of lighting, especially when the air conditioning breaks down. That's always a good time. Always a good time.
Where they had to
go into the war room.
Lighting around
yeah.
the back.
It was so dark in the theater, they had to string emergency lights, as Ruben just pointed out. Oh, it was so bad. But you know what? It was so close. I mean, I could be there in 40 minutes, right? How close was it for you?
Same thing. Same thing. I'm probably coming from the opposite direction.
Right. But it's just like, you know, so we would get a week pass. We'd spend like 2 or 3 days there. And then, like, literally, like, Friday night, what are we doing? We're off work. Hey, let's go game. And it was just like a local game thing. It was amazing. Yep. It was so cool until they moved it. And I mean, they put it in a beautiful setting. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's not. Now it's a vacation. It's different.
Yeah, you got to bring your whole family.
Yeah. Well, at least my family games now. My wife, that is. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. You know, you definitely enjoyed yourself. You got to hang out. I know you were working in the casino at the time, right? And
yeah, and now it's not so much. Now not so much. But hey, at least that gives me time to be a full-time game developer and game designer. So that's good.
That is a good thing. That's remarkable because, you know, you got some good things under your belt already, and that was just part-time. So God only knows what's going to happen when you go full-time. Because you know,
I'm just hoping that I don't know. I'm just hoping that both of these things, like development and game design, come together and give me money at some point. That's what I'm hoping. But I don't have high hopes for it. But at the same time, at least I've been able to do for the last year, pretty much do development exclusively, and then hopefully it can pick up some more work here and keep it full time.
Right.
People come in and out and stuff. So.
That's awesome. I mean, because your stuff it's a lot of fun. I think you single-handedly started the roll and write revolution. I think, you know, you were on the front of that way. I think Viva Java, the coffee game, the dice game with 2 colons, you know, has to stand as one of the Olympians up on the top of the mountain, kind of first roll and write, stake your claim, right?
As per Mike Fitzgerald, who is also a preeminent game designer, he has said that I started the roll and write phenomenon. So I'm just going to go with him. You know, don't blame me. That's right. Mike saying those things. So it's
he knows a thing or two. I love him. He knows a thing or two. He may have developed a little game or two, right? Like, I mean, nothing too big that Mike.
No.
Okay,
but he was friends. He is friends with Richard Garfield, which is
that's it.
Gathering. But he did. I think Wyvern was his CCG.
That's it.
But he has done Diamonds. He's done the whole
Baseball Highlights 2045. First mention.
That's true.
Oh, Mystery Rummy.
Mystery Rummy series, right? So I have Jack the Ripper Rummy. So yeah, he's a dude in game design that everyone should know. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely the Wyvern that was clicking it, because that was kind of the on the coattails of Magic, that was kind of trying to be a little more D&D in style and in feel, right? It wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, cool. And maybe it wasn't as good, but that's fine. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is the juggernaut that is, you know, Magic? It's ridiculous. Like, who can stop that? Cool. So you've been awfully quiet lately, but I have a feeling that is going to burst soon, because we talked at PAX, and then we talked again at Origins, and it sounds like, you know, there are definitely some irons in the fire, and these aren't just hanging our hopes on Kickstarter fires, right?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things, like, especially with Kickstarter and the whole how the market's going right now. It's like it's tough, because everything, even with it being quicker than it used to be, it's still slower than I thought it would be, right? So
sure.
I have right now several signed games. Hopefully, like, I'll just even pitch one, or I'll plug one right now.
Sure, plug away.
I'm doing something. So there should be Revenge of the Mortals, which used to be Don't Get Eated, which is kind of like a nice campy horror game coming out through Keymaster Games later on, either later this year or early next year, like right on the tail edge there.
Now, do they have a rivalry with the Gate Master? The company, like if they're the Key Masters, then the Key Keeper and Gate Master. I'm confused. There's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man just waiting to happen, right? Zool's going to happen.
Yeah, I think they fight a lot.
Okay.
They just have like a whole Twitter feud. You can just go back and forth. They just yell swear words at each other.
They should. And then every now and then Floodgate just goes, I got you both covered. So just... So this is
it's like adjective animal games, like everybody's adjective animal games. So now, whatever, sure, something gate games. Maybe that'll be my next thing.
There you go. Warp
something gate.
There you go.
Warp gate, jump gate.
There might already be a game. So anyway, this is Don't Get Eated, which we didn't get a chance to play it. I know you brought it to WBC. Now, that was back when, so that was probably like 4 years ago now?
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and but that seemed like a very light, fun party game that was just kind of very quick paced but had a little meat on the bone. Fair assessment?
It's kind of like taking I always do positive player interaction, and that was from that era of me designing things. So it's cool because, I mean, you get a chance to play a party game that has a little bit of heft to it, just a little bit. But on top of that, I mean, you're looking at, like, I don't know if people follow the Twitter feeds and everything, but like just all these different Euro games I've been working on that are eventually coming out. They are signed or in the middle of this, but it just takes forever, especially for like medium weight games.
Sure.
But eventually I'll be famous, so it's good that you had me on here.
Well, I mean, you kind of are in your own right now.
Well, I'm famous to myself.
There you go.
For sure.
But so that kind of brings me to a couple questions. So number one is this, you talked about positive player interaction. So obviously that kind of conjures up, well, what's the opposite of that? So we're talking negative. So I take things from you or I hurt you. So how would you define then positive player interaction? Because I've never heard that before.
Well, it's kind of like, somebody blows up your stuff in your game and you're like, oh my gosh, you directly targeted me with that fireball and it blew up my stuff. I'm mad now.
Sure.
Now it's like, well, we both blew up that thing together and I just happened to get a little more points from doing that than you did.
Okay.
Also, that's like a little thing. So a little bit of adding a little bit of openness to these kinds of games. So that there's like, that little bit of negotiation from a medium weight Euro game, a little bit of like openness to talk about how your turn's going and what someone might want to do. I like opening up that line of conversation. And I know that a lot of like Euro game players, maybe they're just a little bit hardcore and they don't want that. But
they want their solitaire. I want my own player mat, and if my player mat is bigger than the actual board, I'm totally okay with that. That's kind of
which is fine.
That's
right?
fine.
I like those games too, and that's why I err on that side. But
sure.
I also, I really enjoy just getting a chance to just be like, hey, you have to work with somebody else. You have to. Maybe you're not even making deals, but you have to at least create these mini alliances during a game.
Right.
And my actions will directly affect yours in a positive way, and I might have to work around that some way.
Now, you've been exploring that for a long time because, I mean, Viva Java, your first, like, big success, I would say, right? Like, that's really... That game embodies that. But the nice thing about that is the player count. Like, the player count in Viva Java goes pretty high, which, I mean, how many nice games that have that kind of meat do that?
I consider it a lovely failed experiment. It's great. Like, it works nice with 7 and 8 players, but a lot of times people just can't get it to the table because it plays best with 6, 7, or 8 players. And that's great, but not everybody has that. So the lower player count, you can still play it, but it's definitely made for that higher player count.
Right.
It's but that's the thing, right? Now that I had that knowledge, I can put it in the back pocket and I can just go, I'm going to pull this out every now and then, just a little bit in each game that I do. So it's no longer like, oh my God, this is all about positive player interaction. This is now Oh, of course, that happens too. Maybe you haven't heard of positive player interaction, but now it's in every game, right? Like that. So it's cool. You can just like move on to different things. I love it.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it sounds like it's, it's definitely a fun kind of element of that game, but, I can see where the opposite would be king making, and then nobody really likes that. It's like, or you have the three-way area control problem, right? Where you're just all kind of, well, I'm not going to win, so I have to pick which one of you two is going to win. It's like playing Risk with my dad and my brother. Really, it wasn't a game of Risk. It was literally a game of who loved dad and who could show that the most, because as soon as you won dad and you turned him on the other person and he came out and just started beating on him, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, thanks for all your cards, dad. And then you basically and you go take over the world. So I learned that at a very early age.
And that's why it's like, and that's what's so cool about it, right? Getting a chance to like explore both things at the same time, like having, especially in a new game that I've been working on, they have the area control aspect where you're just pretty much just going, I'm going to build in your spot. That helps you now, but I'm going to get points for that. So it's like two things at once.
Right.
What do I do? Do I want to screw you over more, but also help you? I don't know. So I like that. I love that whenever I blow up your crap, you get something, and it might be actually not to my benefit to blow you up.
Right. And I think it kind of makes that decision, because then you're like, well, or that a person can affect that cost, right? Like if I can make it so that it costs you a lot, you can still do it, but you're going to have to give me a lot more than I think it's worth, or I'm okay with it. Yeah.
A lot of these definitely games, interesting. They're going that way. They're going the hybrid way, where there is actually a reason not to attack me. So I like that.
Awesome. So that'll be cool. So we're getting to see a lot of stuff coming from you in the very near future. So awesome stuff there. So now you're not, I know before you kind of ended up, with Kirkman and Dice Hate Me a little bit, and you kind of fit the Americana theme a lot, but in talking to you last time, that's not the case. It seems like, now it's, branching out with a few more different people and finding different vendors for these games, because, I mean, that big chunky Euro isn't necessarily going to fit with the cool Americana aesthetic anymore, right?
Yeah, and especially since, now jokingly, I've started my boring Euro series, and and the key to that boring Euro series has been finding names of towns that are really hard to pronounce. Because that's like, you have to. That's the thing. Whenever you do a Euro game, they have to be hard to pronounce.
Absolutely. If it doesn't have at least an accent or an umlaut, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and or just double letters, or especially like the game I'm working on called Maastricht. Like that's the town, right? I'm pronouncing it one way. Most people don't pronounce it that way, but that's like the local pronunciation. So I just want to make sure that there was no possible way you could pronounce it correctly.
There will be no problem with anybody finding this on Board Game Geek whatsoever.
That's totally true. They're just going to type it in and it's going to be perfect every time.
Because that search engine's the best. It's the best.
No, these are the games that I love, and I've started to do a lot more games that I just really love, right? So I've jumped in hard on this whole, like, it's going to be a 3-hour Euro game. It's going to be boring, but it's going to be super exciting because the mechanics bring out the theme. Whatever that theme is, it brings it out. I mean, even on top of this, too, is like I've been working on a huge game called My Father's Work, which will come out eventually.
I cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, so it's so much work, and it's all narrative-driven, and it's all about Victorian-era problems and all about being a Victorian era mad scientist, Frankenstein, every bit of it, and it's really neat. And that game does everything I wanted it to do, but then moving on with it, I mean, you're going to see that one coming out in the next few years, and that's like where we should have another conversation, because that's like when everyone goes, "Oh, you made that game? Okay, cool. I know who you are now," right? Like, I'm hoping that's where that is, right?
No, it's
but, yeah.
That one just sounds amazing because it's, you know, there are some themes that just kind of jump out, or they've been done so poorly in the past, like, you know, the spy villain one, like the mad scientist on the spy villain side. It's been complete rubbish. You know, the mad scientist and, you know, the young Frankenstein feel, you know, it's never been done. So I'm as long as there's a huge knockers card in there, I'm going to be, come on. Can that be my promo card for the game? Can that be it? Like the huge knockers? Come on.
Stay close to the candle. So no, but that's the thing, right? Like that whole young Frankenstein thing, bringing in this whole, what is it? Like completely, people of that time had a different way of thinking, and it kind of playing off of that just gives some great humor to the game, on top of it just being finally the game that I wanted to see, right? Like a mad scientist game which I don't usually do a lot of exciting themes, but like this one helps because I have a lot of boring things, like I put disease in it, or I put different wars that happened, and I can in the game you're actually building the city over the course of multiple generations, so it's like it gives you an opportunity to tell this narrative story that you don't really get in other bigger games, but you just get to make experiments, and the whole game's about doing that in a very Euro way.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it just makes it so that thematic push, along with the Euro aspect of just grabbing components and using them for those experiments and trying to manage all of that while going insane, it's not a press your luck dice game, right? It's not a press your luck or a card game that you draft cards with. It's like, it's a substantial mad scientist game. So I'm really excited for it.
And it's insanity without Cthulhu. Oh my God.
That's also true. Yes, insanity can happen without Elder God. You know, and it's cool because like in this game, like you're a mad scientist, so going insane is good up until a certain point. Once you've gone down the path too far, then it gets bad. But what I love about like having such an epic scale is that you play the game over the course of like 2.5 hours, right?
Right.
And so you get a chance to go through 3 generations, and it just resets. So if you're really insane, yes, you pass down bad parenting traits to the next generation.
I mean, you should.
Yeah, exactly. But in general, you get rid of all the insanity that you had, right? So you get to start fresh, and you don't ever feel like, wow, I really screwed myself that generation by being insane, right? You just get to try it out, you know?
Oh, I cannot wait for that. That sounds, yeah. I mean, I remember when you were teasing this.
Man.
What's that?
I'm just looking forward to the future because, man, there's so many things coming out. So it'll be great.
We might have to wear shades. I'm just saying. It wouldn't be a good show if there wasn't a Thomas Dolby reference in there somewhere. But what can I say? Well, you know what? This seems like a really good place to take a break and pause for some station identification. In this case, I think I'm going to actually pause and tell you guys about a little contest that we're running this month and going forward. It might involve a quiver. It's kind of cool. So I'll be right back with TC Petty, and Dan's awfully quiet, but don't worry about him. He's still here. And we'll talk to him in a bit. So we'll be right back after this. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, and if you don't, why don't you? Well, maybe you don't like Twitter. Well, I'm on Facebook too, because not only are they donating a quiver, we are also getting sponsors to put games that go in a quiver. I believe Bruce said he's going to give me a happy salmon. That's going to be awesome, right? Get out of here. I also talked to my good friend Alan Girding, who's going to throw in a copy of World Championship Russian Roulette, one of the best party games I played in a really long time, and Play from Capstone Games, who also said he'd donate Carthago. I mean, come on, how awesome is this? This fits in a quiver too. And then last but not least is Chris Kirkman of Dice Hate Me Games and Greater Than Games, And he's going to give me a copy of Isle of Trains to throw in here as well. Maybe I'll put one right here so you can see what it is. Yes, we're going to do a raffle, but the raffle's going to be share here, like here, put this on Twitter, put this on Facebook. It's going to be one of those. You're going to have to jump through a few hoops, but come on. You're getting like 4 games and the Quiver's awesome. Enter at GameAllNightShow.com/contest. All right, so I am back with TC. I'm not going to act surprised that he stayed around because he's already stuck through thick and thin. So, sir, welcome back to the second third of the show. Yeah, it's not the second half because it's kind of like a hockey game. It's kind of like, the halftime show at a hockey game is the best. But it's, you kind of think about it, we run the show in 3 periods. So we are kind of chatting around the studio this evening when everything actually worked and we were just chilling and drinking. And we had we came up with a common question, and where the hell did Puppy Shogun come from?
What do you mean?
Like, because anybody who knows anything,
right? PC Petty the Third, Puppy Shogun, yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand. So,
is it like a Lupin the Third reference that I don't get?
No, it has no zero meaning. The reason why it was picked was because it had zero meaning, right? When I first got onto Twitter and everything, it was completely anonymous. And literally no one would know that it was Puppy Shogun, and I'd never used that before, and I'd never will again, or maybe I will now because I'm known as that. But like before, I wouldn't use it, so that was why I wanted to be completely anonymous, because I just wanted to follow people and get familiar with Twitter.
So it's not like this was your handle during EverQuest or something, and it just stuck with you for life. Drunken stupor sadly, one night.
Nothing nerdy like that.
Yeah, there's not even a website you go to and it says give me an animal and a action figure and put it together. And it just kind of comes up with.
I feel bad now because I could have started a game company called Puppy Shogun now with adjective animal stuff. So yeah, it's sad.
But again, you were cool before your time. That's the thing.
That's true. Way cool before way my time. And most people say it's Puppy Shotgun when they see it, and I think that's fine because you're shooting puppies out of the shotgun, and that's really fun.
I think
everyone would love that.
I mean, I'd rather have that than a T-shirt cannon. I think that would be a lot.
That's right. Yeah, a sporting event.
Exactly. Puppy. Get a sporting event, you get a puppy. Come on, it's like it's the puppy shotgun. I'm sure it'd be completely puppy safe. No puppies were harmed in the Ozzy Osbourne concert when they were flung to the 3rd level. I really want to see a GIF of a shotgun pop. I'm creating a lot of work for myself, but I really want to put a puppy getting shot across the screen right now because I think that needs to happen. It's a puppy shower. That could be. I don't know. Puppy showers could mean something completely different. Yeah, you need a little newspaper action for that one. See, adjective animal. You're there. It's the angry octopus, which is what the umbrella company for everything I ever want to do in board gaming is going to be angry octopus everything. So
yeah, there you go.
I get it.
You're already in. Everyone will be so used to it that now it's just normal.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite things, and probably no one ever sees it because it's all the way at the end of the episode, like Bad Robot or the Mutant Enemy or all those things. So,
yep.
But that's adjective animal, not animal adjective. So I kind of break the rules a little bit, but it works.
That's fine.
It works. So we're kind of going through here, and I'm looking at your questionnaire. And I said, we're not going to talk about, we avoid sex. No, we don't. We don't talk about sex at all. No, sorry.
That's so bad. How is your sex life?
Is there a right answer to this question? I'm married. There's no there's no wrong answer. There's no right answer.
It is adequate.
I'm here. I'm alive. I still have a wife. We'll leave it at that. So what? I usually don't call out people's questionnaires on the show just because I think it's kind of seeing the sausage, as it were, being made. Yeah. And so I ask everybody, what favorite color do you play? And I've gotten different responses. Like, I've had one person say, like, I can't pick just one. That's not fair. What kind of question is this? And I got a paragraph on why this is the stupidest question in the history. And I don't even think I gave like an other option, and it was hysterical. But apparently you like the color Coldplay. But yeah, I got a kick out of that, and I'm like, I picture the album cover that comes from, and I'm like, oh, it could be a lot of colors. So. Let's, talking about colors with Viva Java, you kind of had a color issue with that one. Are we learning from that too and not going down that road with the colors?
No, I mean, I made that game specifically to spite colorblind people, so I don't understand why anyone's confused by that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're blind drawing from a bag. Color's irrelevant. What do you care, right?
Yeah, it's not, colorblind's not a disability, so why do I have to deal with you?
Right.
Just you have Sharpies. I don't understand. But no, my thing is I've ever since that, right? It was weird because at the time, and I see a lot of designers doing it, the same thing. They design from color. They design like with color in mind. They design by color, and the first thing they do is make like sets of things with color. And I stopped doing it after Viva Java. And I got better at game design.
Huh.
You should probably not design by color. And it also, just in general, like, if you follow the basic directions for colorblind friendly things, you won't have too many problems, right? So it's all about just making sure that you're designing by, like, symbols as opposed to colors. It also makes it more thematic if you have, like, a puppy and a shotgun in your game as opposed to a green card,
Okay, so you're kind of using the symbols to replace the colors. I thought you were meaning more from a graphic design because, like, you wanted those earth tones to feature coffees and regions, and you really kind of back-ended it from the graphic design side.
Well, let's get pretentious. Let's get pretentious about it.
Come on.
Because the original Viva Java was like had the green cover. And I'm like, Chris, that is amazing. I love that green. That green is like exactly what I was looking for. And that whole board that he made for the game with the greens and with the browns and the caramel tones, coffee tones. That was all like part of what my prototype looked like, right? So it was just felt really great. And he gives me the cover for Viva Java, the dice game, right? The next one. And I'm like, why is it still green? And he's like, what do you mean? It's green. It's green again. It's the same color. Everybody will notice it. I'm like, yeah, but it can't be green again. It's got to be another color. Try blue. And because my brain works in this way, right? Like it has to like, so a lot of the games that I've been doing recently are like pastel blue. And the one game people call like Maastricht, they call it the green game because everything's just this weird tinge of like green. And that's going to carry through to the final version, I'm sure. And it's all just because, like, my brain just goes, well, I'm not designing by color, but I want the aesthetic to work the way I want it to.
So you're
pretentious.
All right. So let's say you're pitching My Father's Work, which, arguably is probably the biggest design and longest and biggest labor of love that you've had at this point. I think that's fair to say, right? Now, if you can call up any artist on the planet, I mean, so we're talking Ian O'Toole, Beth Sobel, any of the big ones, like who do you envision? And I can't forget Ryan Gosberg because he's awesome, but who would you want to design the everything for that game? And you say, just here's this game. You do all of this.
Oh,
who's that person?
Well, I don't have. this is the thing though, right? Like I don't know if you like if you think about like Looney Tunes, I think about it in my head as Looney Tunes for this game, right?
Right.
Where there is a background artist and there is an animation artist.
Okay.
And that's what I'd want. I'd want two different people. One person to do the like, this is the old school, amazing setting kind of look. And we were just today we were looking at like Jarek Nokone. I don't know his last name, how to pronounce it, but his work was just like so good for this aesthetic, right? Like I could see him doing like the dark, like my father's work with like a lightning bolt and like muted colors, almost not sepia, but like grayish colors, just on the cover to make it look like a really nice Victorian era thing.
They're kind of that muddy kind of
right?
Yeah.
Not totally black and white, but really erring on the side of just muted tones. And then going on the inside, I always point to Jackie Davis, right? Like that's just my thing, right? Like because she has such versatility. She could just go in any direction with the thing. And I think I'm not sure if she would even be right for it, but I'd love to see her take on like a gothic work because I don't think I've ever seen that. So I don't know. Getting a mix of both of those together, but man, I don't have a perfect answer, but those two come to mind for sure lately.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because I think I think we're finally at a point where I think people will actually buy a game based on the person doing the art. I don't think it happens every time, but so I'm kind of on record as being this person who's really put off by Vital Lacerda going to Eagle Griffin these days because all of his
why?
Just because like all these games are like over $100, and while they're beautiful, they are, but I'm not buying every one of them now. Where before I bought every single one, but now I'm like, well, the only big one I have is Lisboa because I think it is absolutely gorgeous, but somebody else I know has the Gallerist, so I'm like, you know what, it's pretty and all, but I don't need to own it because I can still play it. It's like I'm really struggling, and of course Escape Plan is coming out, so I'm feeling this way all over again because it's like it's so much money and it's so overproduced, but it's the artwork in Lisboa that sold it. It's the aesthetic that really pushed it. So
I mean this is the thing. It's like this is an Eagle Griffin thing. I mean I've worked with Eagle Griffin before, and this is maybe this is outing them, but I will say it on air because basically they put people in categories of where they are as far as like the release schedule, kind of, right?
Okay.
Like, so I did Xenon Profiteer, and it kind of got a little boost, but I was kind of not a very high tier project.
Okay.
Right. So I had to do a lot more work myself, whereas someone like a Vital Lacerda can get Ian O'Toole. They're going to do a $130 production. Glenn Drover, same thing. It's like they're not worried about it. They're going to make a big production out of it. But they don't have to be that cost. I mean, they really don't. They're just doing it, and it's cool to see it from the Eurogame side. It's cool to see that like they're taking it and doing everything they possibly can to make these games great, but. I can feel the same. I feel the same way. I think that is a very high amount of money to spend for a game that's very niche, and I wish it was available to more people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's funny because I think we can really look at. You talk about one designer who ran the gambit. Like you could buy at one point, and I don't think it's this case anymore. You could buy Kanban for like $25. Because, Stronghold, he gets a lot in, and he makes a big production and a big push, and he's not afraid to discount, right?
Yeah.
But then we turn around, and he kind of, what's your game? Same thing. They're still very affordable. They're in that $40 range. They're not crazy. I'll buy everything that What's Your Game puts out, because I know that I like 90% of it, right?
No, what's your game is a good balance between the two, right? Like a good balance between I want a high quality game, but I don't want to spend $130 for it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I love the What's Your Game aesthetic, right? And that's where I've been moving towards.
And I love those lined up on the shelf. Like I love the, they're doing what the all the other games like the line like the Uwe games did. They have the aesthetic, right? Love it or hate it. I mean, it's definitely personal choice. A lot of people don't love it, but I get that, and I know Vital he's getting to play in this huge, crazy sandbox, so I can't fault him for it. I'm just frustrated that I want to own all these, but at the cost of literally 2 games each, I can't justify it every single time.
No, I can understand. And I feel like, again, the same way that you do, I feel like, man, I am really jealous of Vital for that opportunity, because he gets not only that, but he gets to work on with Ian O'Toole, which is another super positive thing anyway, right? I would do that any day. If I know I didn't list him as a thing for my father's work, but it's not really his style. But if he wanted to do it, you're in. You can do it.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the contract, right?
There you go.
But yeah, I just come on. If you get that awesome deal where everything is good and you don't have to worry about cost or anything, and you just get your games produced, I don't know. He's a good dude to have that deal too, because he's not putting out bad games. He's putting out good games too. So.
Yeah. Even if you have to spend a whole hour and a half relearning the game every single time you want to sit down and play, because you can't remember anything because they just don't stick. But, I'm looking at you, Vinos. But it's just, I can never remember how the market works because you don't play it every single week. But, but I kind of, I don't know. If there were 80, I mean, I hate to put a level on it, but that 80, I can do it. I can do it. No problem.
This is great, consumer content. Let's just we'll pinpoint on this podcast, on this show, exactly what the number is. Right?
I'll fill out the ballot, but it's just
75. Would you do 75?
But it's tough. It really is. And when you're having to pick and choose and you're having to spend it, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you right now, TC. If you get it there, I'll spend at least 100 on my father's work. I'm not going to get all the minis for it or the metal coins, but I'll definitely buy the medium deluxe version, not the super deluxe. All right, I'm in for that. Well, guaranteed.
Well, hopefully you're in for, it's if we get a side novel with it too, then you have to be in for that too.
Absolutely. Who's doing the RPG for it? Because that'd be an awesome world.
I think, hey, we're still talking about it, so we'll see.
I think Tuesday Night Games is starting to do a lot of RPG work these days. I think you might want to reach out. Sean McCoy could probably help you.
I will always be open to those kinds of things, especially with this one. Yeah, it'll give me more stuff to pull from too for all the story elements I got to do. So that'll be good.
There you go. That actually might be a really fun thing to role play through afterwards. That could be really interesting.
I think if that was a role playing system, dying and passing on your stuff to the next generation, I think people would dig it. So.
Right, each session's a one-off. I mean, but think about it. You start back. That's it, right? You start back in Victorian times, and each session is a life. And then you get to the end, and then it's you're in the year 3000. And you kind of, you're flying around in Jetson cars by the end of the game. That could be really awesome.
It's just cool to be able to take something along with you to the next generation, right? Whatever that is, even that's kind of legacy style, right? That's what's so good about those, is that you just write something down, and that's been in RPGs for years. It would just be a system that makes it happen.
But
it'd be fun.
But would Kirk die or would Picard die? That's the question, because when you're talking generations, you kind of have to have the argument,
Oh man, so 22 generations later, Kirk and Spock. gotta figure out which one dies. I mean, it's gonna be a huge important thing that they do for the reboot.
I kind of have this. Are you familiar with the game The Bloody Inn? And
yes.
Yeah, that artist. That's the one I'm kind of envisioning, like that kind of style.
I would love. What's his name? Oh God, Francesca. Oh, I can't remember. Luis. I can't remember his name, but
I know.
I would love for him to do. At least there's an electronic component to the game. If he did the intros to each of the chapters in the game, I think his art would work perfectly. I would want him to do it in black and white too. So give a little Edward Gorey kind of feel,
the sketchy kind of loose feel.
This is a weirdly long conversation about artists. How does that happen on a show like this? I thought this was supposed to be. I thought we were supposed to be doing fart jokes and pee jokes.
No, it's all dick and fart jokes later.
Well, I'm out. I guess it's fun being on.
You know what? I think we have to blame Coldplay. I think that's ultimately it comes down to Coldplay with the album cover with the multiple colors on it. I think that's what did it in. So I'm going to blame it on them. I think they deserve it.
It's such a good song to karaoke.
Yeah,
it's such a good song.
You can't go wrong with it. But the important thing is I think, you know, with you especially, I think you have such an interesting persona online versus what you actually are in person and what you're like. I think that's, you know, some people. Yeah, I think some people just don't get that. Like, I guess the prime example was when you were trying to do the TC Petty experience.
Yeah.
And you kind of went very campy, very over the top, and I got it, and I thought it was hysterical, and I was all in. But it's like, it's one of those things that, you know, everybody's just like, you're taking yourself way too seriously. I'm like, no, but he's not.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks too that like that wasn't like a super successful thing because, man, I love just lampooning that whole attitude, the whole like super pretentious. I've done nothing wrong in my entire life kind of attitude, but I'm super humble about it too. Like I'm
right.
Just extremely like it's not. I would never say that I was good at what I was doing, but everybody's beneath me.
Right.
And so it just it kind of yeah. A lot of things have kind of come together to make that not as appealing anymore. So I've started to be a little bit more of myself online lately, as opposed to the persona.
Yeah, but it still comes out. It came out with your post this afternoon, getting ready for your close-ups and your.
That's just me. That's just me being sexy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
the musk.
I can't help who I am.
Right.
It's like if you could smell what it smells like to be in the room right now with me, you would just be like, "Okay, I get it."
Yeah, it's legit. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I think it's actually a rule that you can't be in a enclosure that is less than 10 by 10 if you're in there with somebody, because it's just too overpowering and toxic. I think it's just.
No, well, I recommend it. I recommend you just at least once. you gotta have the experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want people. I want people to not get that experience. It would be harmful for me to take that away from you. So just allow yourself the indulgence of being close to TC just for a little bit.
So when people at PAX U, because you'll be there because it's our local con now. I mean, Washington might be kind of close-ish for you, but you know, PAX is close.
So what I would say is if you see me at PAX Unplugged or Gen Con, I'll be at Gen Con too.
Awesome.
Just walk up to me slowly and softly sniff right underneath the ear.
That's where the musk gland is.
Yeah, that's where it's most strong.
Okay.
And then you can come back and you know that's me, that's signaling to me to know to. I mean, if you touch me, it'll be another $10. But if you don't touch me and you sniff, then I'll know. Okay, that's perfectly reasonable behavior, and you've had that experience. I think everybody should do that.
Right, but I think you also need to. You were very clear. This is not like scratch and sniff or rub and sniff. No,
or 10. We can maybe negotiate 20 higher. It doesn't go lower, but you can pay me more if you want. But
right. Well, I mean, God rue the day that you can bottle the musk, because then like Drakkar and Chaps, they're going out of business because it's unhealthy.
O to TC will be just way too powerful.
I think you need to do like the George Foreman, and I think you just call it the fourth. that's the name of the musk. It's like you're going to skip a whole generation if you have a child. He'll be the fifth, but the musk is the fourth because it's own thing and it's taken its own life.
Yeah, I'm just sad that I haven't had kids because, man, I'm just sad that there's no TC4, TC5, TCella.
Yeah.
Tcella, Teia.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally happen. I don't understand it. And then you could even go like multinational and maybe like TC Quattro, and you could have like TC Funf, and you got to work up to the Ocho. I think there's a lot of potential there. Mm-hmm. I have a friend who's the third as well, and he's not having kids, and I'm like, man, that must really kind of tick somebody off in that line somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, even if you don't want to name your kid like Thomas Cap, which is what mine is.
Wow!
At least, yeah.
Wow!
Thomas
You just
Cap.
dropped a bombshell.
Yeah, if you've never heard it, it's Thomas Cap, because
CAP.
I'm related to Al Cap, who is the Lil Abner cartoonist.
Andy Cap?
Not Andy Cap and his fries. His delicious fries. Sadly.
I was just wondering if that had to work in there. The pub fries, they're...
Delicious, delicious fries. Yeah, but... No, it would be nice. It would be nice to have a kid and just, like you said, just call them, like, 4.
Yeah.
Or the 4th. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. 4th is like a great kid's name. 4th.
Yeah.
It could work as a guy or a girl.
Well, I mean,
4.
Come on. It was Divergent. Guy's name was 4. It works. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Why not 5, 6?
I mean, yeah. Major person in the book named 4. Come on. And it wasn't Golf Ball 4. It was like FOUR. So, I mean, precedent has been set. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. FO and 4 FORE would be fine too.
All right. I think this has been enlightening. This has been a lot of fun. But I think we need to test our wits and try and play a game. What do you think?
Okay. Well, let's see what game you have.
I have no idea. So this is the fun that is Dan. I don't get to know the games anymore, so it's kind of occasionally I throw them and I tell them what to do because I throw my weight around. I'm a big guy now too. I have there's like 4 people that like watch the show regularly that know my name. So
yeah,
Thank you, Tim,
I can see
Chris,
that.
and Gil, and Heather, and you guys, the 4 Musketeers.
Oh, wow, that's diverse. That's pretty diverse.
I know.
I expected them all to be guys' names.
No. Heather was like there day one. She's awesome. So, and my wife. I mean, she watches everything. And my mother-in-law, she watches it all. She has no idea what I'm saying half the time, but she watches. All right. Cute. Enough of that. So we're going to be right back after this quick break.
GAN presents Dramatic Rules Theater.
If a player reaches the number square at the top of the column with a runner, he may continue to roll the dice or stop voluntarily. However, he should keep in mind that he cannot move this runner anymore, even if he rolls this number on the dice. This increases a player's risk of being forced to stop and consequently losing the column. Thus, it's probably a very good idea to stop voluntarily. In this case, the player places his cone directly on the number square. All of the other cones in this column are then returned to their owners. For the rest of the game, no player can place a runner in this column, including the player who has won this column.
It's game time!
All right, so it is game time, and through the magic of television, Dan is not going to appear, but he will be a disembodied voice that is going to walk us through this. Because this game, I can't be distracted by Dan on the screen. This is all about the melding of the mind here. So we need to, right, exactly. So Dan's not even in this one just because we can't have the distractions. Right, Dan?
Yeah, you guys need to make a connection. This needs to be about the bond between TC and Chris. So what we're going to play is an unpublished game from Storm Chaser Games called Medium.
Okay.
They're currently playtesting this. You can go to stormchasergames.com. You can download their print and play. Give this a try. Give them your feedback. The idea of this game is that I guess you're each a psychic medium trying to create a psychic connection in order to find the medium between two words. So I will provide a word. Chris, on the first turn, you will play a word from your hand. And then, on the countdown, 3, 2, 1, you and TC will each say the word that is the medium between the two terms.
All right.
So again, if I said pool, and you played the word goggles from your hand,
right.
3, 2, 1, you'd say water.
Kids diving for pennies.
Okay, so now kids diving for pennies and water are fairly far apart. So now we would play. Okay, so if you had made a match, if you had both said the same word at that moment, that would be worth 5 points.
Okay.
You missed. We said two different words. So now we will attempt again to find the medium between those two words.
Okay.
For lesser points.
All right. So we kind of agreed to stick to like one word answers just to kind of make our lives reasonable.
Yes. Yep. So we can not do kids diving for pennies. We'll just go one term. Diving.
Although I think, kids riding on bikes, kids diving for pennies, I think it's a natural kind of progression of Stranger Things. I think it's season 3. Yeah, that's it. Pool monster.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions about how this game's supposed to work?
I'm sure, but I think we'll be able to figure it out as we go here.
Your first word from the deck is airport. TC, I'd like you to play a card from your hand to pair with airport.
Okay. So I'm looking at my hand, which is electronic, just so nobody goes, why is he not looking at any sort of cards? I guess I could just be like...
There are virtual cards. There was some arrangement here. There's some pre-production that went into this.
So, airplane. All right.
Airport.
Well, I guess
Airport.
Oh, airport. Oh, I got it. All right, muscle.
Okay, so the words on the table are airport, muscle. I want you guys to look deep into one another's eyes. I want you to make a psychic connection. Find the word that is the medium between airport and muscle. 3, 2, 1.
Glider.
TSA.
Okay, so the 5-point opportunity was missed. Glider and TSA were the attempts. Because naturally a glider requires
muscle to operate.
Okay.
I was struggling. I'm not going to lie.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
We got to find our connection.
So now you're going to do it again. Now between glider and TSA. I don't know if this has gotten any closer. You might be further apart than ever.
We're probably further.
It's good. I can feel the energy. I can feel the bond. It's harder at a distance like this. If you guys were right across the table, I'm sure it'd be easy. Now ready on 3, 2, 1.
X-ray.
Entryway.
not too far off.
They rhyme. That's
They rhyme.
worth a nothing. Okay.
All right.
Now, for your final opportunity to score points in this round, you're going to find the medium between X-ray and entryway. 3, 2, 1.
Gate.
Gate?
Yes!
Oh my God! I'm like, what the hell is that thing called?
What is that?
All right. I wasn't sure, Dan, but I'm liking this.
All right. We have the essence of medium. Chris is sold. All right.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready for round number 2.
Yep.
I'm going to draw a card off the top of the deck. The word is eagle. Now, Chris, I want you to play a card from your hand of 6.
All right.
Eagle and
Tree.
eagle and tree. Time for the oh, you're both good. You've got there. 3, 2, 1.
Nest.
Perch.
Damn it!
No, you were right. You were right. I was wrong.
Oh, I'm only right because I had a preconceived notion. That's
Probably the correct answer. Anyway, So we got perch and we got nest now.
All right. TC has an answer. What are you thinking, Chris? Have you received the message that TC is sending?
oh,
Go simple.
it's foggy. It's foggy.
Sorry, that was against the rules.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Legs.
Bird.
Oh.
No, I think we can get this one though. It's so close. No. Bird and legs.
All right.
Bird and legs.
TC sending me something. I'm receiving a message. Are you getting it?
I'm getting something. Getting a picture.
3,
All right, come on, I got it.
2, 1.
Drumstick.
Claw.
Darn it. Ah.
I'm like literally thinking of it's the claw, Jeremy. Drumstick. Drumstick's the right answer for that one.
It depends
Yeah,
on how hungry you are.
I was hoping. It was tough to get out there.
I couldn't get out of the tree. Once I got in the tree, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, oh, eagle. We can't say bird. That's against the rules. Never against the rules.
Yeah, bird legal. It is true. There is a rule you're not supposed to repeat previous words, so you shouldn't come back to eagle, but you didn't. Bird's different.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the same word. It's not a form of the word.
All right.
And that is one of the keys. You have to clear your mind of the previous rounds, the previous words. You have to be.
I want the blue pill.
slate.
Just give me the blue pill. Why didn't I take the blue pill?
Okay, we're ready for round 3. I think we're sitting on a score of, let me check the scoreboard, 1. We have 1 point as we stand right now.
You know what? Hey, for those of you watching at home, Dan can keep score on this game. Had to go there.
Good stuff.
All right. Puns, dad jokes, you name it.
Flipped over the next card. Your word is tiny.
Tiny.
Tiny. Tiny.
Tiny.
And I need a card from T.
Wee. Just wee.
Ooh.
That's like one of the best words
Cup.
ever.
C-U-P. Cup.
Ooh.
Tiny cup.
Oh, no. All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Espresso.
Tea.
Tiny. Demitassa.
See, everyone in the world is either a tea drinker or a coffee drinker.
Teetotaler. Damn it.
Now we're way far away because tea and espresso is terrible.
It's horrible.
All right, no, I got it.
Oh, no, I got one.
I got it.
No, I got it.
I think we've learned that you guys would make a dreadful married couple. That's what we're getting here. Okay.
That's probably fine.
But I'm okay with that.
3, 2, 1.
Saucer.
Shy.
Like a boss?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or not.
Chai and saucer.
Chai and saucer. Chai is the compromise between tea and coffee. I'm not going to lie. That's...
Yeah, but the teacup would come on a saucer and an espresso thing too.
Yeah.
All right, but
I think I'm being a little too literal. I get it.
I think you're not looking.
I gotta get into your
enough.
head. I gotta get into your head.
I can't handle it. I'm really glad this isn't smell-o-vision. I'd be under the table. All right. So
what are we back?
where are we at?
I heard chai and
saucer. Oh dear Lord. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Aliens.
Alien. Oh man, that's so good.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
Glad you just gave up too.
That might be my favorite moment in gaming on this show ever. That was awesome. All right, Dad. Wow.
It's so dumb. This game is so dumb, but it
Tiny
works so
Dancer,
well.
but it's an alien doing Tiny Dancer. All right, Dad.
Okay. I'm turning over the next card. Have you drawn back up to 6, by the way, Chris? Are you?
Yeah. Well, I just leafed through the top 6 that you gave me
There we
here.
go. So the next card is Thumb.
Thumb. All right. I don't know, TC. This. I think I'm a little too literal for this.
No, I mean no. That's all good.
Let's see if we can maybe. I don't know where my head's at, but I have a feeling it has to do with Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Cookie.
Okay, so we have Thumb and Cookie. Commence my meld.
Thumb and Cookie.
My favorite is there was a game we were playing, and Reuven got one of the clues that the guest did not, and I actually got an email when he was editing, and he goes, "Yeah, I totally got that." I'm like, oh.
All right, I got
Thanks.
this. It's totally not right, but I got it.
All right, you ready?
The right
Alien
answer,
was
though.
totally not right either, and you guys managed to find that one. Okay, Chris.
Yep.
On 3, 2, 1.
Raspberry.
Lady fingers.
Okay. That's good. That's good. See,
I know
okay.
it was wrong.
What's
It was
raspberry?
wrong.
All right. So I need to pause. Pause. Culinary moment. I'm there. So thumbprint cookies are sugar cookies that you put a thumbprint in, and then you put usually like a raspberry jam in the middle of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my thought process, and obviously
It was.
that
it
one
was
sucked
close.
too.
It was close. That's
So
fine.
for those of you,
That's
I'm
fine.
not
We were
crazy.
wrong.
All right, so what words are we at now? Because
So
I had
now-
raspberry,
And Lady Fingers.
raspberry and lady fingers.
And you guys are finding the medium. Visualization, clearly the answer to
Oh god.
I'm trying to do raspberries on lady fingers.
Not a word. Not a word. All right, so I'm going for it. All right, here we go. Let's do this.
send it. You've got to transmit it to Chris right now because there's a blank slate on this end. So
Keep it simple.
okay, 3.
It's not going to be.
2, 1.
Tiramisu.
Jelly. Not raspberry.
You went on one word and I went on the other completely. We started out like here, we went there, now we're like here. We don't build pyramids from the top down.
We're far away, but this one's easy. Remind me, what are we now?
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu and jelly.
And jelly.
Tiramisu and jelly.
I know what I want to send to you right now.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
I know,
Whatever you got strongest in your head, you're going to be sending him, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No, that's what. In what form do you want your destroyer to take? Lady fingers and raspberry.
All right, so jelly and tiramisu, jelly and tiramisu.
All right.
And you picked one already.
I've got one. I'm sending. Maybe we're using dial-up.
I'm guessing what your answer is.
There you go.
So
3,
go with that.
2, 1.
T.
Italians. What did you even say?
T. Tiramisu and... I was going to say aliens, but...
Going way too far back.
That's meta. That's meta. You can't play that. Oh. So what's our score, Dan?
Let me check. 1.
I'm getting a waggle.
Oh, I think it's 1?
Oh, no, you're right. The aliens was your second point.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
2.
He's right. It is 2.
Yeah.
I think we need another one. This is really good.
We'll talk about it. Another word, and we'll figure out if this is your final word afterwards. All right, so TC is going to be playing a card, but I draw the first one off the top of the deck. It is Tower. There's body English on this psychic message. It's
there is. There's. Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Pizza.
Woo!
Because we're awesome like that. Because I can look to my right. All right. Hey, on the plus side, we got Cinco.
There you go. Big 5 points.
Amazing.
I want to do one more.
Again.
All right.
I need to do one more.
Sure thing.
Even number.
Yep. For the final word of the game, the final word is donut.
See, I was feeling good about myself. Now I'm not feeling so good.
It's going to be fine. Just don't play tree, vacation, or cup.
You just took out like 4 of my cards.
I could send you some new words.
All right. Beautiful.
So, beautiful and donut. TC knows what the most beautiful donut is. 3.
I can't do it, but don't go in that direction. I'm not going that far.
I'm going there.
3, 2, 1.
Homer.
Glade.
Donut. All right, I think we can get this though. I'm feeling this one. This one feels good.
This one's probably good.
Homer and glazed, right?
Which would be an easy donut, except you can no longer say that. So
right. But
yeah.
but I think there's
Nope. See, you're sending negative vibes now. Positive player interaction is what we're looking for here.
I thought this was an easy. I thought this was an easy one. I'm
easy in the chance of 50-50. I'm sending this one. All right.
I don't know what it is then. I don't know what you're sending.
Donut and glazed.
No. Homer and glazed.
No, Homer and glazed.
Homer and glazed.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Pink.
The Simpsons. I knew it was not going to be right.
I'm picturing the pink glaze. My problem was, I'm like, it could be pink. It could be sprinkles. It could be sprinkles.
I love that you get it into your head. Like the previous word has to be.
It has
like
to
some
figure.
amalgamation of everything.
It does.
Right,
but it's kind of like you're piecing together this thing.
Pink and the Simpsons.
So now
Simpsons.
Abandon all previous rounds. Wipe Homer, wipe Donut from your mind.
Do not do that. There's a story here. It must be finished. Pink and Simpsons is fine.
Okay. Pink and Simpsons.
All right.
3,
I don't.
2,
not
1.
Lisa?
Yellow. No. What were you thinking? Pink. Pink Simpsons.
The station wagon is pink.
Wow.
Is the station wagon pink? I think you're right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's right where my head went. And then I'm like, all right, well, let's back off and let's just think the girl. And let's stereotype.
I was thinking of the pig. The episode where Homer has
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig, yes. I should have said Spider Pig.
That's actually from the movie for the deep cut. Spider Pig. Does whatever a Spider Pig does.
We got it wrong. So.
Spider Pig was the answer. No, you are absolutely correct. Everybody at home yelling at their YouTubes going, you idiots! Spider Pig is perfect. What is the car? It's like, no, that's mauve.
None of them begin with M.
Well, TC sees like 10 shades of green and 20 shades of brown, so he might not see that as pink. That's fair. That's fair.
That's true.
It actually is kind of the color of your shirt. It's very mauve-y.
Okay.
See, we brought this full circle.
Yeah, I should have got that because I know it's station wagon. But, the answer is Spider Pig. We were both wrong. So
you know what, though? Yeah, Spider Pig was totally the answer. And, of course, I mean, nothing in top Aliens. Nothing. That was...
You got it, yeah. It's amazing.
It was beautiful. Beautiful.
So for a grand total of 7 points today.
7?
Yes.
Was that 7?
Yeah, so that's what I have on my tally.
Yeah. Really? I think your tally sheet lies. I lost count at 5.
Well, you got a 5 points just
that was... I was thinking that was 3-2. Oh, okay. I thought it was 3-2 and 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's 5-3-1 is the step down.
All right. Well, Dan, that was great. That might have to make a comeback because that was a really good time. Man, how's that still in playtesting? Like, they're just playtesting words at this point. Like,
I think that's true. Like, when I played it at Origins, that's what it felt like. We were playtesting words.
Do you like this deck? Do you like the blue deck or the red deck? See, it's the blue and red pill all over again.
There are some additional wrinkles. Everyone should check out the print and play Storm Chaser games.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing that, Dan. That was, I haven't laughed that much in a game in a while. That was a really good one. So thank you, sir. Thank you, TC, for suffering through this show, being on, spending all that time talking about art and not about yourself. I mean, we talked about you at the end there. So, I mean, we did cover the topic in any event. So speaking of you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Where can people find you?
Well, I am at Puppy Shogun on the Twitter. And I guess we're going to be reposting. I'll just do some little plugs, right? We're going to be reposting Deep Design episodes, which I used to do on the Perfect Information podcast. We'll be reposting them in their singularity.
Singularity.
In their singularity. So check out the Game Designers of North Carolina's feed, because they will pop up here shortly. And, hey, if I start a Patreon sometime, just give me some money for your Patreon. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not. So
Ben Maddox says hi. He was on the episode. He had to mention your Musk on the episode as well. So he sends his regards.
I still haven't met him yet. He hasn't. No. Yeah, he hasn't gotten a full whiff yet. But, someday I'll feel him around my ear. He won't ever talk to me. I'll just feel him, and I'll know he was there.
I know.
Got a sniff of the...
Thank you, sir, very much for being on. This was a hoot. Thank you all for sticking around and watching. That was well worth it. That game was amazing and a lot of fun. Thank you, Dan, for putting that on and suffering through not being on television because we couldn't handle it. The screen is only big enough for TC today. So thanks for watching at home. We will see you next time. And be sure to have fun when you game all night.
Game All Night is proud to be sponsored by Game Toppers. Check them out at GameToppersLLC.com, upgrading your gaming experience. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our efforts at comedy and fun, please support us on Podpledge. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, don't forget to engage with us on Board Game Geek Guild 3134. You can also check us out on our website, GameAllNightShow.com. This show has been made possible through supporters like these. Angry Octopus.
Oh, okay. So we can talk now.
Yeah.
I used to be the worst at ending things with no possible segue.
I'm live. We're recording this.
Yeah.
We'll say them instantly, and we'll hope that there's not that much lag between you and me. So we'll see what happens.
Lag. Don't worry.
There will be lag. Haven't you heard? The bird is the word. One love. What? How is love a score? Because love means nothing to a tennis player. Nothing. Sorry.
So, what do we got? We got